In the months leading up to the release of Star Wars The Force Awakens, fans spent a lot of time theorizing about what might happen in the new film. When they finally got to see the movie, they discovered that there was still plenty left to be discussed, as not all the questions initially posed were answered. Moviegoers are now beginning to wait for Episode 8, and they're going back to what they do best, speculating about Star Wars. Here are 10 amazing Star Wars The Force Awakens theories that change everything.
I like this thing.
Han Solo is still alive. For longtime fans, it was heartbreaking to see iconic character Han Solo meet his noble end, being murdered by his own son. Understandably, they don't want to think about future Star Wars without him, so some have hoped that Solo lived through the fateful encounter. After all, Darth Maul was cut in half and was later revived in the animated Clone Wars series, so why can't something similar happen for Han? Unfortunately, it's just wishful thinking. Not only did the planet blow up, Han's death was the key emotional moment of Episode 7, and Lucasfilm won't want to undermine that. There's a reason Harrison Ford isn't in the Episode 8 cast. Snoke is a new character. People have been trying to figure out the true identity of Supreme Leader Snoke, but what if it's just Snoke? One theory suggests that Snoke is an entirely new character, not Darth Plagueis or another reincarnated Sith. The Sith thrive on emotion and attachments, using the Force to serve their personal needs. This goes against Snoke's teachings to Kylo Ren, where he tells his apprentice to purge sentiment and emotion. Snoke feels the Empire fell because Darth Vader loved his son, and if the dark side is to prevail, something like that can't happen again. This would make Snoke something completely new to the films, a welcome development. Kylo Ren Saved Rey. Ben Solo destroyed the Skywalker family when he turned to the dark side, but he still has a soft spot in his heart. Some think that Kylo Ren is the one who brought Rey to Jakku, where she would be safe. In Rey's Force vision, there's a part where Kylo stabs someone about to attack Rey, suggesting he may have saved her during an assault. Kylo is also very interested in Rey throughout the film, asking "what girl" when told of her involvement with BB-8, and asking to be her teacher in the ways of the Force.
You need a teacher! I could show you the ways of the Force!
The novelization implies he knows her, and this would be an interesting dynamic.
And Han Solo, I feel like he's the father you never had.
Rey Solo. The biggest mystery fans want solved is who Rey's parents are, and some think that there's still a chance she's Han and Leia's daughter. Once Kylo Ren turned to the dark side, Han and Leia went their separate ways, and only after did Leia discover she was pregnant again. She kept Rey a secret from everyone and hid her on Jakku for safety. The age gap between Kylo and Rey makes this a possibility, and it would explain why Han doesn't recognize Rey when he first meets her. Still, in their interactions, Han and Leia only discuss Ben, so this one is probably just a stretch. Vader's helmet. Kylo Ren is very fond of his grandfather, and even keeps Darth Vader's helmet in a personal chamber to commune with in times of need. The connection between the two villains is very interesting, and some think that the helmet is what swayed Ben to the dark side. In Star Wars canon, the Force can embed itself into objects, so it's possible that the helmet of a Sith Lord is covered in darkness and can leave a strong impression on a troubled young apprentice.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
It would explain the strong bond between Ren and Vader, and why Kylo asked the helmet to show him the power of the dark side again. Luke and Leia's sibling. Could there be another Skywalker? That's what the opening text scroll in Episode 7 wants you to believe. One line says that Leia is desperate to find her brother Luke, without commas around the name Luke. According to grammar rules, there should be one, since Luke is not essential to the meaning of the sentence. Just brother, unless there's a third Skywalker sibling viewers don't know about. It's most likely this is just a typo that slipped by editing, but there's no denying it would be one hell of a twist if it proved to be true.
And you'll drop your weapon?
And I'll drop my weapon.
Rey's Force training. Some fans found it too convenient that Rey was able to display such adeptness with the Force as Episode 7 progressed, since she had no prior training.
She is strong with the Force. Untrained but stronger than she knows.
Or did she? Some theorize that Rey was a student of Luke Skywalker's before Ben Solo went bad, and whoever hid Rey wiped her memory so she forgot her previous teachings. As Rey embarks on her adventure, the lessons come back to her and she's able to use powerful Force abilities. This would explain a perceived problem with the film, but even if it's not true, it's no big deal. After all, Luke was able to blow up a Death Star with the Force. Han killed himself. Though it's suggested Kylo Ren murdered Han Solo, both had their hands on Kylo's lightsaber before it was turned on. One theory says that Han was the one who put the blade through his chest, realizing that the dark side had taken over his son and knowing what was about to happen.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
In an effort to save Ben from one more sin tying him to evil, Han decided to take his own life and spare his son the pain. This would make the scene even more emotional, but the look of sheer surprise on Han's face illustrates he was not expecting to die in that moment. He just wanted his son back. Rey Skywalker. The most common belief about Rey is that she is the daughter of Luke Skywalker, and the film does enough to support it. The Skywalker family lightsaber specifically calls out to her, and Rey is already strong with the Force, just like Anakin and Luke. The film's script also implies that Luke recognizes Rey when he meets her at the end, suggesting Rey is not just an average inhabitant of the galaxy. The numbered episodes are said to be a generational tale of the Skywalker family, so Rey being Luke's offspring adds up. Seeing a Jedi train his own daughter sounds very compelling, so fingers crossed on this one. Kylo Ren, Double Agent. What if Kylo Ren's mission isn't to consume himself in the darkness, but rid the galaxy of it? Some think that Ben Solo is working as a double agent to destroy the dark side from within, leading to his conflicted feelings. This would explain why he was so emotionally torn after killing Han Solo, having sacrificed his loving father for the greater good to show his allegiance to the dark side. This would put an intriguing spin on things, giving greater depth to an already intriguing character. The evidence supporting it now is slim, but there are still more movies to come. As unlikely as it seems, this would be a great twist. Those are some of our favorite Star Wars The Force Awakens theories that could change everything, but what are some of yours? Let us know in the comments section and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.